Telltale is back to bring another tear to the eye of gamers around the world. The Walking Dead Season 1 was my personal game of the year in 2012, and I'm not ashamed to admit it had me crying like a baby with its expertly crafted story. With the release of All That Remains, the first episode of The Walking Dead Season 2, the story of young Clementine continues as we get to witness what a strong survivor she has become. One of the most highly touted aspects of Season 2's design is the ability to import save files from Season 1, promising that the choices you made last time around will have an impact on the new season. The first episode fails to fully live up to that promise, but I have faith that by the end of the season your choices will matter. The game will feel familiar to anyone who's played a Telltale adventure in the past. There's simple puzzles to solve and a few set pieces to explore, but the star of the show is the story. It's been a couple of years since the finale of Season 1, and Clementine is dealing with growing into a young woman in a zombie apocalypse. She'll have to contend with walkers, the elements, and other survivors if she's going to make it out alive. The focus here really is on Clementine's growth as a survivor. She has to use guile to manipulate untrusting strangers, use problem solving to escape imprisonment, and be resourceful enough to eat and stay safe on her own. The player gets to choose whom to trust and with whom to be snarky. Do you play the puppy dog-faced, friendly, innocent little girl, or do you use blackmail and threats to get what you want?
You should probably think about being nicer to me. That's just my advice.
The cel-shaded graphics are perfect for a game based on a graphic novel, and they do little to hinder the impact of the gore and violence. Smashing a zombie's head with a hammer still has impact even with the cartoony look. There's a few graphical glitches and some frame rate stutter, but they rarely impact the flow of the game. Clementine is a little older, a little more road-weary, and everyone she encounters seems appropriately somber and wary for someone who's survived with zombies at every turn for several years.
Yeah, I know it sounds crazy, but look, for whatever reason, I think she's telling the truth.
Look, there's no point in arguing.
The orchestral music is ever present and sets the mood perfectly. Quiet during exploration and explosive when things, as they often do, go to hell. The story being told in All That Remains is heart-wrenching. It begins with a swift kick to the ribs and never really lets up. Clementine has very little go right for her despite her best efforts, and that she is strong enough to withstand the onslaught is what makes her an interesting protagonist. It isn't yet clear what the overarching plot of Season 2 is going to be, but the character study of Clementine coming into her own as a survivor is riveting stuff. Telltale are the masters of story-driven adventures. The Walking Dead Season 2 has been well set up to tell an interesting and original story with a few familiar faces to tie it all together. The Walking Dead is a rich world with many stories to tell. I eagerly anticipate future installments to find out what kind of young woman Clementine is destined to be.